Hey, everybody, this is Heidi Bennett of Vibrant Visionaries podcast and Spinal Tap Minute podcast. And this is a quick little promo for an upcoming event, and it's Movies by Minutes Portland. We're going to be meeting up in Portland, Oregon on Saturday, August 24th. For live podcasting, games, and on the stage, we've got the Movies by Minutes guys from Star Wars Minute. Actually, it's going to be a mashup of Star Wars Minute and the Godfather Minute. The newly pod game, Rick from Mad Max Minute, is going to be hosting that. Vibrant Visionaries, where I'm going to have the fellas from Open the Podcast Doors, Hal, which I think you could probably figure out which podcast that is. And then just added The Cast and the Furious. So lots of live podcasting and some games going on. Tickets are $20. It's a family-friendly event. It's really a social event. It's not just for the Movies by Minutes listener, but the podcast listener and fan alike. Go to moviesbyminutes.com/Portland. That's moviesbyminutes.com/Portland to buy tickets. Again, tickets are $20. See you in Portland.
Holy bat music. Bat is not a bat, he's a man who fights crime. And we're gonna watch him fight for a minute at a time. With John and Dale and a guest who doesn't rhyme. It's Bat Minutes!
And now, an ending. Where once there was one, now there are two. Or were there always two? That's me, Niall McGowan, one of the hosts of Bat Minute, doing a deep cut Twin Peaks reference there, because that was a little snippet of the Log Lady's intro for the final episode of Season 2, which is a thing I love to quote all the time. And it seemed appropriate now because we have 2 completed seasons, so that's why I waited to bring it up at this exact moment. But anyway, yes, welcome to Bat Minute Returns, for the final episode of Bat Minute Returns. Yeah, as I said, I'm one of the hosts, Niall McGowan.
And I am the one, John Parker.
Well, Chesney Hawks. Oh, my God.
Yes. I mean, it's a little-known fact that in another life, so to speak, I did go by the name Chesney Hawks.
But, yeah, so, yeah, here we are at the end. We at minute 126. Technically, this is a minute and 30 seconds, but come on. Look, let us just finish it up now,
We're rounding up those seconds because they're pointless. Not much happens in them. And it means this is a nice, complete week.
Yeah. You got a nice even out the week instead of them come back for another episode Monday. Plus, we got stuff coming up for hiatus projects down the line. Like, we won't be gone for too long.
Yeah, but this isn't cheating. We've done the credits, and we're talking about them. We're not missing them out.
We ate I think Beetlejuice Minute. They had opted out in the last scene of the movie. They were like, "Oh, the hell with it, we're gone." It's like, no, you can't do that. But you can do that. You can do whatever you want.
Can do it, yeah. Shout out Beetlejuice.
Yeah, but yeah. So actually, this minute begins with the cast doing their curtain call. We see the main cast of the movie going up again. And it ends a minute later with us staring into the dark abyss.
Oh no, darkness falls over us all. Soon I must rest, forever sleep.
And we're just staring into the dark for about 3 years, and then we see this sort of neon green in the distance. And we're like, I wonder what that's going to be. And then when you hit Schumacherville, oh baby, it's neon.
Oh,
let me tell you.
It's something to behold. Get your shades on.
I'm really looking forward, actually, to the build-up just of looking into Batman Forever stuff. Because, like, say what you want about the movie, the marketing around it and the hype build-up to it was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, all the one-sheets and all the posters and the promos and stuff. Like, it really got you geared up for that movie. So to get to look at all that stuff again, I'm very much looking forward to down the line.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited because as I've said, like as a kid, I loved it, but as an adult, it's the one I've seen the least. So I'm very intrigued. I think because I love these two, and I like Batman and Robin because it's bad. Whereas Forever's kind of in between. Like it kind of falls in the. It's not bad, so you don't put it on for a laugh, but it's not like a classic movie like these. So yeah, it always misses me. It passes me by.
Well, I mean, I'm on record. I'm a big Forever fan. So like, yeah, I'm desperate to get into it. Like, not desperate. Like, it's like I can wait a little bit to get into it.
I did absolutely ruin that VHS as a child.
But yeah, just in the final minutes, because we do have basically the cast, and then there's a couple of the old like, soundtrack available here, blah, 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 all your usual end credits and stuff,
Blah,
and then
blah.
then you get the final Warner Brothers logo. But I just thought I'd go into a few general bits and bobs that we haven't mentioned throughout the course of the show, just because I was like, oh, we never brought that up. I guess we should make a point of doing so.
Oh, yeah, go for a couple, because I've only got a few notes on some of these people. I didn't want to go overboard.
I mean, we do see there the credit for Chris Walken playing, of course, Max Schreck. We never mentioned that in the earlier scenes in the movie, Max Schreck has very noticeable human molars.
Yes.
Like teeth for his cufflinks. And this was a thing that Chris Walken himself was like, he noticed it apparently in the 70s Robert Redford version of The Great Gatsby.
Oh, okay.
Noticed the character who had the same feature. Like that was the thing. He's just like, oh, walking like that. I guess he thought it was kind of like a chilling image, and he co-opted it for his own performance because the thing is, kind of, I guess in a kind of ironic twist, I believe the character he took that from was Meyer Wolfsheim, who was a character who has been hounded The Great Gatsby with criticism because he's perceived as being part of very blatant anti-Semitic portrayals with F. Scott Fitzgerald. And I believe even in the Baz Luhrmann one, they went out of their way to cast that part with a character who was very blatantly not Jewish. Like they had a kind of like, we'll make him a different ethnicity and everything. They got a completely different looking kind of guy to come in to do the part. Because it just did. We don't want to have any of that affiliation, but it's just kind of ironic because that would be, a criticism that was lobbied at Batman Returns with the portrayal of the Penguin as well. So it's kind of a weird crossover, a weird, unfortunate crossover, but a crossover nonetheless.
Everything's connected.
I believe actually Meyer Wolfsheim, he's based. I'm fairly certain when F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote that character, he was basing them on Arnold Rothstein, like the real life Arnold Rothstein.
I've heard that. I don't know if it's true or not.
I think it's because there's a mention in The Great Gatsby that the guy, I think he fixed the World Series, and it's always been one of the things about Arnold Rothstein is that he fixed. I think it was the World. I think they mentioned it. Arnold Rothstein's in Boardwalk Empire as a character. They allude to the fact that he's supposed to have fixed the World Series and stuff.
Yeah.
And it just kind of got me thinking too, because it's like, I completely forgot. Like, when we were doing all the Penguin casting things, Michael Stuhlbarg, the guy who played Arnold Rothstein in Boardwalk Empire, he'd actually be a great Penguin as well. Like, he's kind of, I can imagine him with the top hat and the thing. And Michael Stuhlbarg's a phenomenal actor anyway. Like, he's one of the great character actors we've got going at the minute. He's not utilized anywhere near as much as he should be.
No, I'd have him in everything. That's a great call, actually. The Penguin, yeah.
Yeah, so I think he's a good. If they don't go for Toby Jones or Andy Serkis, I say give Michael Stuhlbarg a call.
At least get him in a Batman movie in some capacity. Come on.
I'll get him. Young Alfred, but not as young as the Pennyworth Alfred.
the middle series they'll do.
It could do actually if they're going for Rob. We'll actually check what age Michael Stuhlbarg is, because if he's like late 40s, he might be late 40s. Maybe he's younger than that, but. Because I guess if Robert Pattinson is like supposed to be 30, then I guess Michael Stuhlbarg, if he was a little bit older, he could be his Alfred. Well, so he was born in 1968, so it makes him Oh, he's 50. Oh, so Michael Stuhlbarg could be.
It's
Robert
possible.
Pattinson's
Yeah.
Alfred. Yeah, go for him. Give him a call.
I found out something weird. You might want to edit this out because it might bore everyone else. I don't know. But I found out something weird, and I didn't know if it was true. And then I looked into it, and I think it's true. Right. Americans probably won't have a clue what I'm talking about. I don't know. But I saw a tweet saying that Keanu Reeves is now the age that Richard Wilson was when One Foot in the Grave started. Right? And I think it's true.
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me if it is.
Which is insane.
You got weird things like Ralph Macchio is the same age as Pat Morita wasn't like, but it's just that one of them obviously aged quite badly, and the other one looks really young for his age. Like, that would not surprise me if Keanu Reeves was the same age as Richard Wilson, as one foot in the grave.
Did they like make him look older in that show or something? Because Keanu Reeves still looks phenomenal.
Yeah. I think as well for one, Keanu is a vampire. So
well, he's a vampire.
Yeah. Did I think Keanu? I guess maybe just good living. Like I guess he doesn't strike me as a party hard kind of guy.
No.
I think he's a pretty. I'm sure he parties, but I'm sure he doesn't. I've never heard of any Keanu's out, getting blitzed on friggin' heroin balls or something like that. Like,
oh yeah, the old heroin balls.
So what do you call them? The speed balls, where there's like a mix of was it cocaine and heroin or something?
Yeah.
The thing that killed John Belushi. Anyway, I was trying to think of that, and I was going to call it a snowball, but I was like, no, I think that's like a drink.
Yeah, it's a horrible bloody drink. I had it recently. Everyone made fun of me because I ordered this snowball. I was just picking different cocktails off the menu. I was like, I'll have that one, then next I'll have that one. Everyone was laughing at me like, oh, that's a drink for like old ladies.
It is. I was about to say that's exactly what it is. That's the reputation of it.
Yeah, and let me tell you, it was not worth my experiment. Hideous.
People too, they're just like, they were expecting the good old fashioned John Parker drink.
Yep.
They're like, he goes for an old fashioned, and then he went to the snowball. They're like, what the hell is this? This is what we want.
The reason I'm not drinking with this episode, with this recording, is because I had 2 old fashions last night with the last of my booze.
That's one of the first things we had at the beginning of the last movie was all the talk about you and your old fashions.
Yeah.
I guess it's a nice full circle right there.
It is. It's all a loop.
Yeah. But they have to start completely new. Like next season, we should come back and like completely new slate with like, I don't know, put on different voices or something.
We'll get new hosts.
Yeah, it's like maybe just hiring other people
be
to come in and do it
recast.
for us.
We'll get like, who could play who? That's what I want to know. I want to be played by, I'm going to go with, this is a tough one. Who could play me? I think Idris Elba should be me.
No,
Clearly I'm an Idris Elba.
No, I think after all that Michael Stuhlbarg love, I'm going to have to go stick with him. Like, give that man work, for Christ's sake.
So they'll be playing John and Niall next season.
But anywho,
There's Batman.
just to notice a couple of things here. Like, for instance, they have, as they call her in the credits, campaign bimbo.
Yeah, that's still smart.
Yeah, but we know her as Lisa Guerrero in Real Life Now as acclaimed reporter Lisa Guerrero.
Yeah.
It was in a viral video quite recently, actually, where she was kind of cornered a TV televangelist about his finances and like why he was charging money for all these personalized jets and stuff, and he had no answers. Like he was completely caught out.
Which, if anything, is an answer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It rang as loud as anything he could have said. But yeah, like it was just weird watching the video. It was like, oh, and then noticing it's like, I know that woman. And I was like, I'm expecting the guy to pull out a badge at any minute and be like, here, where button, and just like try to stab her with it the way the penguin did.
No, spare her.
But she's credited as Lisa Coles.
Yes.
And I've double checked. It is definitely Lisa Guerrero, but I believe when she was, I guess, early days in her acting career, she went by Lisa Coles. It doesn't seem to be like it was a marriage or anything. I do have a slight vibe, and this is going to be an unfortunate thing that does happen in Hollywood.
Yeah, I think I know what you're going to say.
Yeah, it was probably they felt that Lisa Guerrero was too ethnic a name, perhaps. And you want to sound whiter, basically, I imagine was the pitch to her.
Yeah.
So they gave her the bog standard name of Lisa Coles. And I guess she wasn't all that successful an actress under that name, but she's a very successful journalist under Lisa Guerrero. So I guess that flipped around on her right there.
Well, yeah,
but,
if anything, that proves that she shouldn't have done it. It proves that she was right. She has stuck to it. But nope, they tried to remold her and shape her the way they wanted and failed. But it does happen. I mean, look at the Sheens.
Oh, yeah, the Estefezes as well, all that business, yeah.
Because when I was a kid and I found out they were a family, with Emilio, I was like, oh my God, of course, he looks like them. They look so similar, but when you're a kid, you just don't think, oh, they have different names.
yeah. That's like nowadays, though, it just doesn't. I think hopefully it's a thing that's just fallen by the wayside, because you do get, quite Jay Hernandez is becoming a big name, and Aubrey Plaza, of course, as well, very Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
I believe she's Puerto Rican. It's it's not trying to hide anything. So hopefully that's all a thing of the past, basically, at this point.
You'd hope so. I mean, did that ever really... We're probably the wrong people to be talking about this. Did that ever really happen over here in our media? I can't think of anything like that.
Well, I do know, actually, what's her actual full name? Maybe it's because it was just a difficult name to pronounce, but current, Hollywood superstar Brie Larson. Her name isn't actually Brie Larson.
Oh.
It's, Brianne Sidone de Soldenaire.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I guess maybe she's just it'll be difficult to pronounce, because I think it is a kind of French... Well, it looks like it's French anyway.
Yeah, but if people can pronounce Arnold Schwarzenegger...
Yeah, that's because Arnie, he was just like, I'm going to make people pronounce this name correctly. Plus, did he go by something else in that Hercules movie?
Yeah,
was he not
Arnold Strong.
Yeah, something so friggin' on the nose as that. Jesus.
Get it? He's strong.
Yeah. But yeah, so I guess, maybe... you look at her, Brie Larson's as white as they come, so I guess it must have been just a pronunciation thing, or she's like Larson. It'll be easier for people to say and remember.
Larson's
and stuff,
Swedish. What a strange shift.
Yeah, but she's doing quite well at the minute, anyway.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I enjoyed Captain Marvel. I finally watched it. I know you were kind of in the middle on it. I liked the smaller story, despite being intergalactic.
I just found it a very flimsy film. The thing is, I love Brie Larson. I've loved her since Short Term 12. She's phenomenal in that movie. But the weird thing is, when you watch Captain Marvel, at the end of it, my thing was I don't think she really got to do much in that, because she was just sort of very stoic and very kind of bland. Well, and even at the end, you're just like, I don't think I really even know the character all that much after that. They didn't really go into anything too much. It was just very flimsily put together as a film. But
I don't know. I do like the way, she's kind of cocky, but it doesn't come across annoying. I don't know how they've pulled that off, because I hate cocky people. I want to punch them.
Although that is their big trait. It's she's cocky and very confident. But then they keep talking about you have to contain your emotions. And it's she barely emotes the whole movie.
Because she's basically a Jedi. Let's be honest.
Yeah, it's just you're just really I was kind of thinking there was going to be some big moment where she would kick back into being human and she would act like a person again. But no, no, she was always just like that. It's that's what part of my beef with it was. There was a lot of, this is fish out of water, someone who was from a planet coming back, but they don't remember it. But there was no real fish out of water humor in it. It's just sort of she lands on Earth and goes about things very okay. It's just sort of, and things you think would be a big deal. She blows up a friggin' jukebox in a bar and nobody says a thing. It's is this not where your drama should be coming from? It's she's just going around blowing things up and no one's, Nick Fury should be oh my, what the hell are you doing? You can't do that.
Well, I get that. I agree. Despite liking it, I agree. In fact, I've mentioned to you off the mic that I'm watching that Killing Eve. Is that big in the US as well? I don't know.
Oh, I believe so. I think the US got the second season before the UK did.
That's crazy.
I've been very confused because I remember the second season coming out and it had been a big deal in the press. And then a couple of weeks ago over here, it's Killing Eve's available on the BBC now. I was I thought it was out already.
Yeah.
It's no, it was out BBC America way back in April or something like that.
And everyone hates the second series here. So, but...
I don't get that though, because I think maybe it might have been because there's a real love affair with Phoebe Waller-Bridge because of Fleabag, which is well deserved because she's great.
Yeah.
But she wrote that first season, and then she didn't write the second season. And I think people are like, well, it's not as good without her.
But that's because they know it's...
Yeah. I watched it too. I was like, this is as good as the first season. I don't see any dip in quality at all. But
well, that's kind of quality. That's the word, right? That's what ties me to what you were saying about Captain Marvel. We will get back on Batman in a minute. I'm enjoying this show, but much like that scene with Captain Marvel you mentioned blowing up the jukebox, this Villanelle, which is a stupid name, she can just go around murdering people left and right, just killing people in broad daylight without covering it up even slightly. And seemingly nobody cares, except this one woman from London.
This Sandra O's just going around. Nobody else knows this.
Nobody's doing a thing. Like that's what I don't get. Like at least Dexter tries to cover his tracks. Yeah.
My one thing is that I can't hold it against the show, but my one thing that annoys me about it now is that the plot line is very, very similar to Hannibal. Like, the long-time listeners.
I don't know, like romance, but
like a very stylistic, very charming, charismatic killer is going around, quite blatantly doing this stuff in public. Very theatrical murders in public. And they've got one dogged detective who is obsessed with tracking down this one person, and then the two of them start becoming obsessed with each other to the point where it's basically like a love affair. That is essentially the Hannibal TV show summed up quite, as succinctly as you possibly can.
Yeah.
It kind of became that over the 3 seasons, but by the end, that's what it was. And Hannibal, amazing. One of the greatest shows ever made, got cancelled. Killing Eve, just everyone loves it. It's like, what? They did this show better already.
Yeah.
But it's just like, no, people prefer watching Sandra Oh and what's her name? Jodie Comer? Is that a thing?
She's a very weird character. Like she's not like Hannibal's kind of, he's charismatic and likable, whereas she's just weird and creepy and strange. I don't know.
She's very kind of bratty, I think.
Yeah.
She's kind of like, it's kind of like she's not really a proper adult yet, so she just sort of acts like a child a lot of the time. But
is it meant to be like that? Because I hope so.
I think that is. Yeah, she is perpetually always is coming across like she'll just be very petulant and petty about things and stuff. And it's like, yeah, I think that's what she's not a normal person, so she's not growing up to be a normal adult, I guess, might be what they're going for. But no, so basically then we've got just the main cast coming up there again. So thought I'd mention what they went on to do straight after. Michael Keaton, of course. His next role would be doing the English dub for Porco Rosso, the acclaimed Studio Ghibli film. And then he went on to play Dogberry in the Kenneth Branagh production of Much Ado About Nothing. So, and as we've talked about Keaton so much, so it's like, yeah, we all know he went through a kind of lay period, and then now he's back, and he's kind of on top again.
Hell yeah.
One thing I know, because we'll be covering it in the hiatus episodes, you never know, but apparently he was, before he reunited with Tim Burton for the terrible Dumbo film that was out this year, he was also considered for, they say, one of the parts that Jack Nicholson played in Mars Attacks. It's got to have been the Texan billionaire guy. Like,
oh yeah,
that's got to be. Although that's very close to what he played at the beginning of Beetlejuice when he shows up in the whole, I'll kill anything you want me to kill, I'll swallow anything you want me to swallow, like all that. It's the same outfit and everything. So it's like Tim Burton's like, oh yeah, he would just be playing an identical role. Better not just give him that. But so yeah, and then Michael Keaton's doing well these days. Hopefully his reign is long. Danny D within the same year directed and brought out Hoffa.
Oh,
him and Jack Nicholson starring. So Rick, that was a busy year, 1992 for Danny DeVito.
Holy
Pretty
crap.
good year too, considering it's like, yeah, made a big acclaimed serious drama movie with Jack Nicholson and myself, and it's like, yeah, got the
imagine all the
Penguin.
Imagine all the chats they had about Batman.
Yeah,
Probably
yeah.
none, let's be honest, but they should have.
I'd imagine too, like, because with talk again, his name's up there as well. The guy who played Josh, Steve Whitting, he was in there also getting injured by Danny DeVito. It was a weird. But I've just checked up to see what Danny D's up to now. What's he got coming up next? Apparently, he's going to be in the Jumanji sequel with Karen Gillan and the Rock and stuff.
That sounds amazing.
I really enjoyed that first one. So like Danny D in a sequel, like, yep, sign me up. I'm there for that.
Only way to improve it for you then.
Walken went on again. His thing is like Walken's. We've said before, Chris Walken's a guy. He's like, if you pay me, I'll be in whatever.
Yeah.
So he went on to be in a bunch of like straight to TV stuff straight after this, and then I think this next big thing was Wayne's World 2, like the next year. So
and I love that movie.
Yeah. Actually, I have another thing relating to Wayne's World actually coming up in just a moment. And then of course, the MVP of the movie, arguably Michelle Pfeiffer. She would go on after this to star in a thing called Love Field with Denzel Washington, which seems to be kind of I think it's like 5.5 on IMDb. So something about like the Kennedy assassination and like a woman getting involved with Denzel Washington and the drama, the fallout of that happening in the 60s and whatnot. And then of course she would go on to work straight out after that with Martin Scorsese in The Age of Innocence. So. Not Scorsese's best movie, but like, hey, friggin', if you can boast that you work with Martin Scorsese, it doesn't matter what movie it is, you're just gonna be like, hey, I worked with Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, that's the thing. People, insult sometimes actors like, oh, you were in so and so's bad movie. Like say if you were cast in Crystal Skull, Indiana Jones. I don't care how bad the script seems, right? If Steven Spielberg wants me in a movie, I'm gonna be in the movie.
Oh yeah.
I don't care. I'm not interested.
I'm pretty sure that most people who are in like really, really terrible sequels, their whole thing is like, well, of course I'm gonna. If they offer you it, of course you're gonna be in it, because it's like you hope it's gonna work out well, but you just want to have like hey, I can say I was in this.
Yeah, even not necessarily even a director, right? If someone came up to me and was like, "Do you want to be in the new Terminator?" I'll be like, "Yeah," even though it's probably going to be a piece of crap.
But and then, of course, Michelle, and more thing in the early 2000s, she kind of went into kind of like a self-imposed retirement for a little while. But she's back. She's doing films again. You might well have seen her in a little movie that came out recently called Avengers Endgame. She briefly appeared.
A small independent release.
Yeah, so didn't make much money, I don't think. But don't worry, Michelle. I'm sure the next one will be a hit. So, but yeah, that's the main cast, that's all what they went on to do. And then I just got some general notes about the aftermath of Batman Returns. Like what came after, basically.
Oh, okay. I have a couple of credits ones, so should I do them first?
Yeah, go ahead.
I just particularly, this one stood out to me as a gamer, which will be apparent in a minute. I first saw this person because I just loved their name, right? They play Terrifying Clown 1. Branscombe Richard.
Oh, yeah.
What a name. Now, this guy's an actor and a stuntman, and he's been in loads of TV. He was in a thing called Hawaiian Heat, which automatically makes me want to watch it. Walker, Texas Ranger. You're going to be excited now. Commando.
Yeah.
And Action Jackson. He's in Action Jackson, and he's still on the go now. This guy's unbelievable.
He was the clown with the taser, wasn't he? I think he was. I remember the time talking about.
Yes.
Like he was one of the main characters in Renegade and stuff.
Yeah,
I was very excited about that.
And this guy now has taken part in voicing a character in Apex Legends, a big game at the moment. He voices the character Gibraltar, who I play as quite a lot because he's a sturdy chap, which is always very helpful. So I liked that. I just picked him because of the name, and it turns out he's in one of the games I'm playing at the moment.
Do you think every time you're playing with him now, in your head you'll be going like, "Take one more step, Mr. Batman"? Oh! Anytime someone shoots at you, you're like, "Ha! You missed."
Nah. I did pick out as well Andy Schonenberg, the makeup artist. And I liked them because they were late. They later went on to be the makeup artist for almost all of The Walking Dead. Up to this point.
But not every single zombie, because oh my god,
by
this show is killing me.
That'd be amazing. No, I assume not. I assume they're just in charge. And they also did Fear the Walking Dead. And if there's one thing you can praise those shows for, it's the zombies look cool. I don't really like it anymore. I went off it years ago, but those zombies still look pretty cool.
They always kept saying, though, every season they're going to get more rotted. I was like, well, at this point, should it not just be walking skeletons?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be way better. Just do that.
And this guy this is his field, I think, because he also worked on Planet Terror. So he's got a style, hasn't he?
Maybe just he was crucial to all that ooze coming out of the penguins. That's my bag, baby.
I think that's about it. There's a couple of other ones, but they're not stunt performers and it's in Dolby, blah blah blah. The story is fictitious, which I don't buy for 1 second. Because why would we spend so long talking about it? This is a true crime podcast.
I did notice because the soundtrack at the end is get 2 songs. It was just there's of course Face to Face. And I can't actually remember what the other one that was now.
I don't even remember. It's that inconsequential.
But Super Freak. That was
there's me dissing Super Freak accidentally. No.
Because I actually looked up because it said it was in the Masquerade Ball.
Yeah.
And it said it was orchestrated by Bruce Fowler, who apparently he's quite a big deal. Looked into him. He used to play trombone for Frank Zappa and Captain Beefheart.
I think you'll find he's a tromboner.
Yeah.
Is there something funny about the word trombone?
And also Oingo Boingo, so I'm guessing that's how he got the gig on this. But he's still working very, 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 very strongly. He's recently orchestrated for Dark Phoenix. He did all the Dark Knight trilogy. He orchestrated all that. Paranorman, and of course, frequent guest Omar Najam's favorite film, Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron. He orchestrated for that as well. Just have to make sure to tag Omar in this just so he knows where to send all his praise.
Of course.
And actually, I noticed as well that his first film was a movie called Kill Me Again, which stars Val Kilmer.
Oh, Kilmer me again.
Yeah, and also stars Michael Madsen, who guest of the show Briley Bishop co-starred in a movie with. So yeah, everything's tying in together here.
So what you're telling me is Michael Madsen's booked for next season, yeah?
Yeah, okay. I don't think I'd even want Michael Madsen on. He seems like a very grumpy fella. But yeah, I think him and Briley were in a movie called Talons together. It looked very, very, very small budget. Imagine, not to diss Briley Bishop and her work, but it didn't look like this was the next Tarantino that was coming out. It wasn't that level.
Oh, no.
But, and yeah, of course, you get all the business of, scenes depicting violence were simulated just so they can cover that Michael Keaton didn't really shove dynamite down a guy's trousers and throw him off a bridge.
What?
But yeah, just have so what became of the aftermath of Batman Returns? It opened on June 19th, 1992, and its opening weekend it grossed domestically $45.69 million. It would go on to make $266.83 million worldwide, which actually, that's amazing. But at the same time, the first movie made $411.35 million worldwide, so it actually is quite the significant drop-off, actually. But
oh, God, yes.
And I was actually surprised to see it was the 6th highest-grossing movie of 1992. For some reason, you just assume a Batman movie is going to be the biggest movie.
You would think it would at least be in the top 3. Okay, I know that sounds like petty. 6 and 3. Okay. But come on, it's Batman.
Yeah, but it's just... according to the worldwide, the highest grossing films in 1992 were number 1 spot, Aladdin.
Oh.
Of course, friggin' it's back, baby. You can't get rid of Aladdin.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. Oh, hey, let me tell you. But then The Bodyguard with Whitney Houston, Kevin Costner.
Yeah, you're not going to beat a bloody one like that. Because, let's be honest, when this movie came out, the stereotype was a sort of white, nerdy guy going to watch it. Whereas The Bodyguard, the stereotype is, oh, you can go to it with your wife.
Yeah.
Now, again, these are all cliches, but they play on cliches and they use them to make you go to the movies, basically.
Oh, yeah.
They play them against you. So the Bodyguard's always going to beat Batman, I think.
I think there's always that Hollywood only seems to have learned how to manipulate the system recently, too, because now they're having this major thing of like retooling known properties and putting female lead characters. Like, well, that's an audience we're not tapping into. Whereas you'd have something like back in 1992, like The Bodyguard, been a huge hit, was a movie geared towards women. It's like, you could have been doing this the whole time and making a bunch of money, but it was like, no, we thought we knew what we were doing. It's only now we figure like maybe if we put a female lead character in one of these things.
I think that's the problem, though. Half the time, that's the extent of their thinking. Let's make the lead female. That's it. They don't go, how can we make this movie appeal to women? Yeah, it is purely just, put a woman in there. It'll be fine. That's not doing any work. That's not any effort.
No. But that's the thing, because, again, maybe it's because I was like, Batman should have been, like, the biggest movie that year. Because, like, yeah, Aladdin, fair enough, Aladdin beating it. Like, I thought that was a great movie. A
monster.
Yeah, cultural juggernaut at the time. The Bodyguard, fair enough, that was another big thing. But then number 3 was Home Alone 2.
Oh, okay. To be fair, as a kid, I loved it. And I suppose that you can sell more tickets because you're going to take the whole family to it. Whereas this Batman was pretty dark.
Oh, yeah. Of course, number 4, but even that, though, keep that in mind. Number 4 was Basic Instinct, which you definitely can't take the whole family
That's the opposite,
yeah.
That's all the dirty old dads getting out the house.
And number 5, Lethal Weapon 3. It's like, oh my god!
I don't even remember.
Batman Returns.
3.
What happened? Like, why?
I don't even remember Lethal Weapon 3. I remember 1 and 2.
I think Joe Pesci's blonde in it.
That's all you need to know. Joe Pesci. I remember, blonde.
Yeah, that in the cover was like, the classic Riggs Murtaugh back to back, and then Pesci was in the middle. I think that was
because that's always worked, hasn't it? Like, how do we mix up this buddy formula? Let's put in a wild card third element.
And then the only, like, straight after that, though, I wonder if it was a little bit of a kick in the teeth to him, because A Few Good Men with Jack Nicholson was 7 after Batman Returns. When he was like, oh, god damn it, I'm never gonna be...
Damn you, Danny D.
Who made this? Although he was making money off Batman Returns, too, classically, so I guess he's like, hey, I don't care. It could freaking be number 1. There's all more money for Jack, so...
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, and then of course, had the, the thing is, I actually saw quite recently, you can get an old clip from a talk show hosted by some woman called Faith Daniels, where they they're talking about the controversy, like all the stuff we were talking about, where it's like, this movie is inappropriate for children, and it's a whole big, hands-wringing, public outcry. All the audience of this talk show were just sitting around all like, this is very inappropriate for children. You can't bring your kids to this thing. And the one thing they have to keep saying, like, well, the movie's rated PG-13. And they've reached out to Warner Brothers, and they basically said it's rated PG-13. Like, if your kid was scared, you shouldn't have taken your kid to it. It's rated PG-13.
You should know your kid.
Reason. Yeah. But the thing that really annoyed me in the clip is that they brought on I think it was for like the New York Times or something, their junior movie critic, this kid, Danny Slasky.
Okay.
And it's this little kid comes on, and his whole thing's 10 years old. And he's just sitting going like, this movie is very, very scary. It's a full-on attack against children.
Oh, come on. He's been told to say that. No kid speaks like that.
Yeah. And he's just sitting going like, yes, I thought it was very, very scary. It's like everything the Penguin's doing, he has a ducky boat, but he's using it to attack kids and all this stuff. And the thing is, because you're watching, it's like, this is supposed to be, like, obviously the freaking parents told him to say this, and everyone in the studio told him to say it. But, you do have a kind of thing of, like, the kid in me looking at him. Well, I had a kind of attitude like, you fucking narc. Like, what are you coming out and telling people that kids shouldn't watch this movie when you yourself are a kid? Like, you can't tell. You can't rat out the movie like that. Yeah, There's going to be kids whose parents are going to see this, and those kids will want to see Batman Returns, and now because you came on and said it was inappropriate, they won't get to see it. Yeah. And it's going to, it's like, don't do You can't betray your fellow kids.
That's awful. That is the worst betrayal.
Yeah. And, yeah, I remember there was another, at the end, they had some kind of child, or movie standards person come out, with, like, movies for children, and he was, it was one of the interesting things he said towards the end is that, like, I've talked to a lot of people in Hollywood, and a lot of them don't even like the movies they're putting out. He's just like, I don't think, a lot of them don't think that any of these movies are appropriate for children, but what are they going to do and stuff.
Fair enough.
But despite all that, despite all the controversy, quite critically acclaimed Batman Returns. Rightfully so, of course.
Well, yes.
We got, for one, you got, Roger Ebert. His review is quite strange in that he's one of the few that's a bit negative, but he gave it 2 out of 4. And he says, I give this movie a negative review, and yet I don't think it's a bad movie. It's more misguided, made with great creativity, but denying us what we more or less deserve from a Batman story. No matter how hard you try, superheroes and film noir don't go together. The very essence of noir is that there are no more heroes.
Okay.
And it's like, doesn't that make it more interesting, though?
Well,
like,
that makes it more out of the box. Like, you've not seen it before.
Yeah. So, yeah, kind of agree with you there, Roger. But I know he's most acclaimed film critic in America and all that. But it's like...
Well, okay. He was, / is. But he was very set in his ways. He had specific things he liked and disliked.
Yeah.
And that rarely changed. Although when it did change, I have seen a couple of times him revise a review, like go back and say, well, I have a new opinion, which is big to say that.
But yeah, so his was negative, but then like you just get like Janet Maslin of the New York Times said that Mr. Burton creates a wicked world of misfits, all of them rendered with the mixture of horror, sympathy, and playfulness that has become this director's hallmark. She described Michael Keaton as showing appropriate earnestness. So, wild, overbearing praise right there.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito as conveying verve.
Okay.
Said that Christopher Walken was wonderfully debonair.
Not going to argue with that.
Well, yeah, I guess he was. And Michelle Pfeiffer as captivating, fierce, and seductive. Can't deny that either. But most people, I think, even though we've said like it's kind of a critical reevaluation coming around now, actually looking at the reviews at the time, a lot of people did have it like, this is just a great weird movie. Maybe it's not what you'd think it's going to be, but it is well made, so you can't complain, I guess. But that was Batman Returns, everybody.
Oh no, I can't believe it's over.
Yeah.
What have you taken from this experience this time, if anything? All it's done is reinforce my love of the film, basically. I love it on an even deeper level than I already did.
I was quite happy to hear a lot of the guests' opinions on the betrayal of the characters and stuff. Like I just thought, getting good people's perspective on Catwoman and the betrayal and whatnot. It was interesting getting different perspectives. It was just more the fact that like I thought we were going to have a lot more of some people are going to come in and be like, this is trash and stuff, and like pretty much everybody was very, very positive. I think it was the only one thing. It was Chris Santitan was the only one who was very much like, nah, didn't like it, but
she liked talking about it. That's what matters.
yeah, and I think like I'll keep some of these bits of trivia to the day I die. As even the other day, someone mentioned they mentioned that joke from The Naked Gun of Frank Drebin going to take a piss with the microphone on, and I was like, did you know that that's not Leslie Nielsen doing that voice? It's the Doctor from the beginning of Batman Returns and stuff. And they were just kind of looking at it because they know me and they know I do the show, and they're just going to nod their head going, yeah. It's like of course you know that, and we're interested in it. But
why wouldn't you know that?
But yeah, we've officially finished 2 Burton Batman movies, the Burton era. But
I don't even know how we wrap this up. It's such a sad moment. We're out of my favorite era of Batman. We're out of the land of Tim Burton when he was at his peak. And no more Michael Keaton. Yeah. Which is upsetting. No more Elfman, as I'm going to call him forevermore, the Elfman.
I don't feel too bad, because again, I know we've got hiatus stuff coming up that we'll be still talking about a couple of these guys. most of the heavy hitters in a few of these projects. So
I know, but it's not going to be the same ever again. No, it will. I'm just saying this for dramatic effect. It's going to be different next season, but it's going to be great. I'm excited. I am looking forward to it. There's some intriguing performances coming up from the villains. Interesting.
I mean, it's there's a lot to get into in these next two movies. So, I don't think we're going to be wanting for content anyway.
No, we'll be fine. So, we'll round out the week with it. We'll recommend something again if you want. If you've thought of anything.
No, I kind of thought because it was the final episode, I wasn't too sure if you wanted to do recommendations.
Good, because I was going to recommend that you come back next season. I was waiting to do it. And also, of course, the hiatus episodes. I think you'll find them fun. Of course, we're not reviewing Prince movies this time.
Yeah.
But
also, we might have a Patreon up and running, I guess, in the meantime as well.
If we stop being lazy. We'll see what we can do. It might depend on how many T-shirts you all buy. Purchase, consume. I should have just leave it at that. Just fade out. No, we will depart for this season. We will head off into the dark night for the final time. For now.
Next season, to infinity and the Batman Beyond. Riddle me this. What kind of men have minutes on their minds? And what changes will they find as Gotham goes from being grimly gothic to more garishly inclined? And as our masked hero's mug undergoes a transmogrification, can a new comrade aid in the battling of a berserk bifold Burke and an emerald enigmatic jerk obsessed with being clever? Find out next season on Bat Minute Forever!